page 211. Planets. There are 8 planets in the order from the inside to the outside. Mercury, Venus, the Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. They move around the Sun in the same direction, coinciding with the rotary direction of the Sun around itself. The orbits of planets are nearly circles with very small inclined angles. Therefore, we can consider the solar system as a flat disk structure. The planets of the Earth group are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. They are small planets, but are solid with relatively large density. However, each planet in the group only has few or not have satellites. Because they are near the Sun, their surface temperatures are relatively high. Around each planet there are satellites. They move nearly on the same plane around the planet. The system consisting of a planet and its satellites is a smallest system structure of the micro world. Planets are divided into 2 groups, Earth group and Jupiter group. The Jupiter group consists of Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. They are large planets. Their densities are very small. Maybe they are a gas block, or a solid or liquid nucleus covered by a thick layer of gas. They have so many satellites. Besides, around them is a very large and thin belt created by dust particles, especially the belt of the Saturn can be seen through a telescope on the ground, looking like a Mexican hat. Because these planets are very far from the Sun, their surface temperatures are very low, usually under 100 degrees Celsius. Asteroids. Starting from the study of variation law of the orbital radii of planets, people see that they can arrange these radii into a series with certain rules. However, there is a term in the series not corresponding with the radius of any planet. That is the term with the value of 2.8 AU. The intermediary between the orbital radii of Mars and Jupiter. Later, observing with telescopes, people have discovered some planets with the diameters of several hundreds of kilometers, and so many planets with the radii width of several kilometers to tens of kilometers, moving around the Sun on orbit with the radii of 2.2 to 3.68. These planets are called asteroids. Maybe asteroids are fragments of a certain large planet moving on an orbit with the radius of 2.8 AU as mentioned above. Comets and meteorites. Comets are frozen gas blocks mixed with rock with the diameter of several kilometers, moving around the Sun according to very flat elliptical orbits where the Sun is a focus. The closest point to the Sun, a comet orbits, can be adjacent to the orbit of Mercury. The farthest point can be beyond the orbit of Uranus. The period of motion of the planet comet around the Sun is from several years to over 150 years. Most of the time, the comet moves in the orbital path for the Sun, so its temperature is very low and the matter in the comet are frozen. The time the comet moves in the orbital path near the Sun is only about several months or several weeks. At this time, the temperature of the comet is very high. The matter in the comet get hot, bright, and evaporate. The gases and dust around the comet are pressurized by the sunlight to push toward the opposite side of the Sun, forming a tail as a broom. Dust and gases in the tail reflect and scatter the sunlight, so we will see both the head and the tail of the comet from the Earth. In the head of the comet, there is a nucleus which is not yet evaporated. Because each time the comets get closer to the Sun, they lost a lot of matter. Only large comets can exist for a long time. Meteorites are stones moving around the Sun. The number of meteorites is numerous. They move in so many different orbits. There are also flows of meteorites. When a meteor flies close to a certain planet, it will be attracted, causing causing the collision between the meteor and the planet. In the case a meteor flies into the atmosphere of the Earth, it will be rubbed by strong frictional forces, get hot, and burst into flame, leaving a long light track that we call the falling star. Comets and meteorites are also the members of the solar system.